Hi YouTube, I'm Violet with a double V and a triple T, back at YouTube. I work at NASA. I'm just kidding, I just like Uranus. Today, I will be reading Reddit stories. These are all stories from r/am I the asshole. Gotta get comfy for these stories. First story! Am I the asshole for planning to move out and break my promise to support my sister with her kids and work? I, 22 male, have been living with my sister, 31 female, that's got 2 kids, 13 male and 11 male. Their dad's not in the picture and she's a single mom. I can relate. I don't have kids, I'm saying my mom is a single mom. I've lived with her for 3 years and the main reason I stayed was to help her start and complete university by looking after the kids, picking them from school, etc. Her course requires work, placement, and long hours. I've been doing a lot of online classes for university and I've been fortunate enough to be able to work from home. I'm in my last year at the moment, just like my sister. I feel obligated not only as a man, but as a brother to be there for her through thick and thin. The plan was to help her finish university and then let her work for a year to save money and get a bigger place before I move out. However, I've had my fill of abuse and disrespect and I want to leave soon. She's also in her last year and my intention is to move out as soon as she finished her course. Let me give you examples of the kind of disrespect and abuse I mean. I babysit my nephews almost every day and do the school runs, and when they make messes, I ask them to tidy up and they disobey, roll their eyes, and argue. I take away their toys, and when their mother comes home, I let her know what happened and she gets emotionally manipulated by the kids. She tells me off in front of them and gives them back their things. As soon as she comes home, they fake cry and act like they've been wronged. She shouted and insulted me several times when she's in a bad mood, which is often, in front of her kids. She's done it so many times on not even the kids respect me anymore. My authority with my nephews has been undermined so many times. They are very unruly and misbehave badly. They get excluded often from school, and when I take their games away or make them do chores, she immediately comes in the room and literally tells me off, hugs them, and lets them have their toys back. They've witnessed her disrespect me numerous times in ways I am not allowed to mention. And almost every time she apologizes, yet a few days or weeks later, her aggressions begin again. The loss of face and humiliation in front of the kids amplifies the way I feel. I've moved out before and she cried and begged me to come back, and like an overly empathetic younger brother, I always came back, and within weeks the disrespect returned. I felt sorry for her situation, being alone with those kids and having to juggle education and home life. She's unaware of my intentions, but I will go earlier than we agreed. Right now, she thinks we're cool and has no idea I'm making arrangements to find a place. Moving out will be a huge setback for her, but I think it's overdue. I plan to let her know soon, and I feel like an idiot for staying a few more months just so she at least finishes university and gets her degree. But I am not cruel. I mean, in my opinion, that's not your responsibility. Also, I have to remind you, she needs to get her shit together. I saw plenty of single parents who is not as fortunate as your sister is. And also, I want everyone to know family is not everything. Family kind of sucks sometimes. And I can attest, like I said, my mom is a single mom. She's been a single mom for decades now. And she pulled through. I think you're not the asshole. I think your sister's the asshole. And the way that she's raising kids is a asshole behavior. That's what I think. You have given so much for her that she thinks she can just control you and basically, like you said, manipulate. It makes you think that you have to do stuff for your sister, which you do not have to. That is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is yourself. One comment said, not the asshole, your dynamic sounds super unhealthy and toxic, and it sounds more like she treats you as a partner instead of a brother. You need to look after yourself. She's treating him like she wishes she could treat the partner who left her, a single mom, totally whipping boy. As a brother and as a man, you've done enough. That's the only thing you can do right now. It's just that she is not taking that responsibility of doing A, B, and C because you came into the picture and it made it easier for her to just take advantage of you. You do you, find you a nice place, get you a nice partner, look after yourself, get a nice job, finish your school, get your mental check done. Next, am I the asshole for despising my mentally handicapped sister? The title makes me sound horrible, but hear me out. My sister is severely autistic. She requires attention almost 24/7 and cannot be left alone. She is nonverbal and cannot take care of herself at all, despite the fact that she is only 12. She is extremely destructive and violent and destroys anything she gets her hands on. Oh wow, I hate her. That should be wrong to say, but it doesn't feel like it. I was only 6 years old when she was born, and since then, I've never solely had my parents' attention. I probably said that wrong, and I do not care because English is not my first language. English is hard.
Thank you!
Even since I can remember, the world has revolved around her. I was moved out of my room into the basement at 7 because she needed to be in the room next to my parents. All of my toys as a child were destroyed by her, and my parents simply ignored me when I complained. Even when I was 14 and she destroyed a Mac my school gave me, I was in the wrong? Along with this, I am expected to take care of her and drop everything I do for her. I can never make plans with friends because my parents expect me to be there if they need me to take care of her. Even when I do somehow get time to myself, I am required to leave if they need me. If I do not, then I am punished. The recent example of this is when I went to see the new Spider-Man movie and was grounded because I turned my phone off in the theater. Seems as if I am nothing more than a slave to them, and anything involving her simply overshadows me. Last week I was chosen to give a speech at a school event. I was so excited and my parents promised to be there, but they never showed and claimed it was because of my sister. Anytime anything like this happens for me, they are too busy with her. I've held this in for so long and it finally spilled out today. While talking about colleges with my father, he joked that I should get a degree that pays well so when they're gone I can take care of my sister. I don't know why, but this caused me to break down. I cried and screamed about how it's always about her. I'm nothing more than a caretaker to them, and that they always make it about her, and that I'm expected to be her slave for the rest of my life. I've locked myself in my room since then, and my parents have not come to check on me. Am I the asshole here? Oh, they have an update. Wow, thank you for all the support and love that you guys have given me. I never expected this post to reach the popularity it did. Thank you all. After thinking about it for these past hours, and you are right that I don't despise my sister, it's not her fault that she was born the way she is. My parents came to talk to me a while after my breakdown, but I was unable to bring myself to talk to them and only cried and asked them to leave. They have made arrangements with my grandfather for me to stay with them for the time being, and am getting ready to go to his house. My parents want to talk to me, but we have decided it's best I leave for now to have some space and time to collect myself. We'll be sitting down and talking later this week about the issue. Thank you again for the love and support. That is rough. Having any kind of disability is hard as itself, but the fact that your parents are expecting you to do this when you have a life of your own is also difficult at the same time. I really don't think that your parents should put that responsibility heavily on you. I know they're going through a lot too. It sucks because you're trying to live your life, trying to do a lot of things, etc. Not the asshole. These are perfectly legitimate and understandable feelings. You have done nothing to sign up for taking care of another human being. It's not like she's your kid. And that was wrong of your dad to joke about, because it sounds like he probably is really thinking along those lines. Be honest with your parents about how you feel. Make clear that it's insane that you're expected to be a full-time babysitter. Grounded for no phone in a theater? That's fucking bullshit. Next! Am I the asshole for telling my wife it's not cute for her to encourage our teenage daughter to expect her boyfriend to pay for everything in their relationship? My wife and I have been married for 18 years. We have our 16-year-old daughter who has been dating a slightly shy/awkward young man for around 3-4 months. He seems very nervous around my daughter and has admitted in a passing comment here and there to my wife and I that he can't believe she agreed to date him and he thinks she's way out of his league. He seems very respectful, just shy. My wife is usually an independent, awesome woman, and her ideals align closely with mine, particularly in terms of feminism and equality. We have both to raise our daughter to be as independent and capable as possible. Since my daughter has been dating this kid, my wife has changed considerably and has given our daughter advice that has left me with raised brows more than once. Some of the advice I've heard my wife give is, oh, it's cute for boys to pay for everything, especially in your first relationship, or, oh honey, don't worry about that, he can pay for you. If he really liked you, he would, and similar. I've tried to balance this out by telling my daughter straight away, two people in a relationship should be contributing equally, and my personal favorite, if someone asks if they can take you out to dinner, it's reasonable to expect them to pay, but if someone asks you to grab dinner with them, it's reasonable to split the payment. I figured that would be an easy way for a young person to understand the difference. However, I've noticed my daughter becoming more and more entitled with her boyfriend's money. They haven't been anywhere obviously since we're home, but the way she talks about him, oh, I'll just ask him to pay for X, etc., leaves a bad taste in my mouth. She has also flippantly, these are some big words, my dude. She has also flippantly mentioned that she gets him to buy gift cards for her, etc., by mentioning her mother's advice. For example, if you really liked me, you'd pay for X. I spoke to my wife privately and told her my concerns. She insists it's a rite of passage for girls and it's cute that she should feel a guy is completely spoiling her. I told her that it's not cute for her to be thinking it's acceptable to view relationships as personal ATMs, and my wife became very angry with me and is now calling me an asshole with a lot of hostility. Here's my take on it. So I've been in a relationship for 6 years. I have never expected for him to pay for everything. I've always been equal with everything. But I understood that whatever I'm spending is my money and whatever he's spending is his money. I've never asked him to buy me anything. Let's say that he gets dinner for me, then I'll get him lunch next day. I don't know, we have this very balanced, healthy relationship, as some people might say. You're not the asshole. Said, it's not cute. Not the asshole. Your wife is the asshole. Your daughter is becoming the asshole. The boy also needs some guidance, but that probably shouldn't come from you. Edit, read the responses to my comments. There are some good arguments that maybe you should consider talking to the boy yourself. I may have been wrong on that part, but you'll have to decide for yourself. Next, am I the asshole if I stopped paying my daughter's tuition over a disgusting comment she made toward my new girlfriend? My 56 male wife died at the young age of 51 from a car accident. I was in deep mourning for about a year after her death. I met my new girlfriend C, 43 female, around January. C was the one who made me laugh for the first time after my wife died. She's smart as hell, 3 Ivy League degrees, has a dark sense of humor that I love, a terrific cook, and overall an amazing woman who I can imagine spending the rest of my life with. She is also on the heavier side, a fact that becomes relevant later. I have 2 children, E, 25 male, and A, 19 female. They were well aware that I'd gotten a new girlfriend before I first introduced them to C this summer. She got along immediately with E, but A was very standoffish. After that initial meeting, I asked A if there was something wrong, but she denied it. C made a few more attempts to get to know A, but they were all rudely rejected. E and A both came out for Thanksgiving dinner. I asked A to please be polite during the meal since she's always been rude in her interactions with C, even though C has been nothing but gracious in return. The dinner was going as well as it could have for the first 10 minutes, although I noticed A was glaring at C the entire time. When C went to grab her third helping of mashed potatoes, A said, "Don't you think you've eaten enough, you fat pig?" Wow. C started sobbing immediately and ran off into the bedroom. I felt my face turn red and told A to get out. About half an hour after A left, I texted her saying that I would no longer pay her tuition unless 1, she apologized to C, and 2, C accepts her apology. A must have assumed that I was bluffing because she instead doubled down on her behavior during Thanksgiving dinner. I then logged into her university's tuition payment website, canceled next semester's tuition, and sent A the screenshots. She called me crying and begging me to reconsider, but I told her my mind was made up. She must be feeling all sorts of things. I think she's just going through a lot. No one's safe. Everyone is asshole. Something more is undoubtedly going in between C and A. You need to find out why A has such a strong dislike of her and reacted so strongly. A is probably so deep in mourning for her mother. You've managed to put your grief behind you, but the process is much slower for some people. Seeing C in her mother's place at Thanksgiving was probably very hard on your daughter. That doesn't excuse your rudeness, but it might explain. Secondly, you've made your daughter's tuition dependent on C accepting her apology. As the fees are something between you and your daughter, that's not appropriate, especially as C seems to be the issue here. When I say C is the issue, I mean the relationship C and A have, not C herself. The whole tuition thing, C shouldn't be involved in the first place. I think you could have easily talked to her about it and then asked why she feels a certain way about, C and how she's feeling in general. The action afterwards, unnecessary. You went through it by going onto the website, screenshotting it, and then sending it to her. Whatever she said was rude. I don't think she's coming from a place of hatred towards C. I think it's something else. Hope you enjoyed me stuttering around English words because English is hard. I'm not from here. I'm glad I'm not from here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also check me out on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Violet, but with a double V and a triple T. Once again, thank you so much. Let me know what you thought about all these stories. Take care, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!